Everybody, welcome to a brand new MMA Roasted Podcast. We are now at SpeedWeed Studios.
SpeedWeed Studios!
The joint at SpeedWeed Studios. I want to thank SpeedWeed for sponsoring the podcast. It's awesome. By the way, marijuana is legal in California. Don't go to a dispensary. Don't do all that stuff, okay? Get it at SpeedWeed. Get it delivered to you. They got the best marijuana, the best edibles, the best THC sex lube, which me and my wife love to use, and all kinds of great stuff. Gino's a great guy. He helps so many comics, so many podcasters. Thank you, Gino. Thanks for giving us this studio. Go to @speedweed.com. Make sure you follow them. It's going to be a great show today. We have Dan Hooker calling in, coming off a huge win.
Big win.
Oh, my God. I mean, Ali Aquinta is no joke. And
which, by the way, the announcer said Aquinta. Is that how he pronounces it?
Whatever his name is, Dan Hooker fucking put it on him.
All yeah,
right? And Al is a great fighter. So kudos to Dan Hooker. We're going to talk to him. We got CB Gold back.
I'm here, people. I'm back. 7-month layoff, but they brought me back for some strange reason.
Yes.
That's right. We got to see what's going on at CB Gold's Golden Gold. Don't even think about bringing that silver shit here.
I had to shut down the pawn shop.
Oh, that sucks. No more instruments. All right.
No.
I just got back I was in Myrtle Beach doing comedy this weekend. Myrtle Beach at the Carolina Comedy Club, which was a lot. Are you okay there?
Yeah, I fucked up the mic a
Somehow
little bit.
managed to dislocate his microphone.
No, I got it.
And so I'm working with this guy. His name is Corey. I think it's Corey, right? So he's the feature, and he's there 2 days early because like they messed it up. I was supposed to be there on Monday. It said Monday to Sunday, but the contract said Wednesday, so he got there Monday, right? So I get there, and he's like, "Hey man, you mind if I sell merch?" I'm never gonna tell a feature they can't sell merchandise. Just not
right, because you ultimately know they need the extra to make up for whatever they're being paid.
Right. Okay.
Features are notoriously underpaid.
But then after the show, well, first he says, "Guys, just wanted to let you know that some of the merch goes to my father, passed away from brain cancer, and it goes to cancer research, which is nice. But then it makes me look like I'm not doing."
Yeah, and I want to see the numbers on that too.
But I'm not gonna tell him you can't. So then at the end of the first show, I come outside. His merch table is set up right in front. My stuff's not even packed. Like no one even set. Oof. And I'm like, okay, all right. That's kind of. I'm like, what?
That's the thing. If you're gonna do that, first of all, your stuff has to be in front of his stuff.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna set up all your stuff, you got to set up your stuff as well. So I love features that actually do that when they actually are like, look, I set up your stuff while you were on stage. That's such a huge courtesy. If you're doing them the courtesy of letting them sell their stuff too, which is essentially taking money out of your pocket,
right.
Especially when it's not even a feature that you brought,
right?
So it's not somebody you know, so you have every right to tell this stranger to not sell, and then, so it's nice if they're like, great, and they set up your stuff, you get the prime spot, that they're behind you. Okay, go ahead.
So then, right, he's doing a ton of crowd work, right, which as a feature, like that's
not supposed to do a ton of crowd work.
You're not supposed to do like, hey, where are you from? What do you do? Blah, blah, blah. I mean, the whole thing is I'm like, all right.
So he's got no material.
He's got material, but he's doing a ton of, and he's kind of a lot of fake crowd work.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, Pat, and then says Pat 85 times later on that. All right, okay, so that was that. Then I go into the condo, and I'm like, oh, my room's kind of small. I go into his room. He took the headliner room. Right, he took the big room, TV. I don't have a TV. He has a bathroom in his room. He has a closet, and he's like, "Oh, I got here early. They told me to take the headliner." I'm like, "No, they didn't." But I'm like, "Okay, all right."
No, you should have been like, "Yes, but I'm here now, so you need to go to the other room, and I'm going to call maid service to come fucking clean this room."
I wasn't going to do that. I'm like, "Okay."
You're too nice. So I would have kicked him out immediately.
Really?
That would have been like, "Well, I hope you enjoyed it for 3 days." I'm going to leave. I'm going to get some lunch. I'll be back. Get your stuff out of my room.
So then I'm like, but now I'm like, he probably jerked off in that bed. I don't even want to go on that. There was no maid service in here.
Oh, there's not. It's a condo.
Yeah, it's a condo.
Oh, my God.
So he took the big room in the condo, right? So I'm like, all right. So then he goes out, and it's the next night, and he brings home a girl. I'm sleeping. It's like 2 a.m. I'm trying to sleep. I'm on the computer. They're having sex louder than I've ever heard. And I hear him go, "Oh my God, my balls, right there." And I'm like, so he's plowing some chick, but I can't, and I have no TV to drown it out because he took.
And you can't go get another girl to compete with this because you're married now. So
you gotta
just sit there and listen to it.
Right. So after first I thought he might have he was jerking off.
Hold on, one second. Did you jerk off listening to it?
No. No.
Well, I guess that's the difference between you and me, Adam.
I'm so glad I'm back.
But I banged on the wall. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, I'm like, come on, man. So then the next morning, I'm like, my balls. He's like, oh, that was her. I'm like, yeah, she sang my balls. And he's like, I'm like, why was her voice so deep? He goes, she was a smoker. I'm like, yeah, okay, a smoker,
Oh my
right?
God.
So that was I needed, normally, So that was that.
Do I know this guy, or is it someone from that area?
He's from New York. His name is Corey. So, but this dude, I was like, you got, and then he's like, you're not gonna want to hang out with me when I come to LA. I'm like, yep.
It's like, yeah, you're exactly right.
You can sleep in the pool.
You've done nothing right. So
he was like, you don't even have my number saved in your phone. I'm like, absolutely, that's true. Yeah. So
I
that
got
was
the girl's number.
That's
though.
the thing about when you go someplace and you don't get to bring they don't have the budget for you to bring your own feature. And you wind up in kind of this forced friendship with this person you don't know. And that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to like this person.
No, he was,
you're just going to have to work with him. I was just...
I did kind of like him. I'm not going to lie. But the guy kind of grew on me. But I was like...
Not that he was a bad guy, but it's like, he's not your boy.
Right.
He's just some guy they made you work with.
Like a 46-year-old man. It wasn't like some kid.
Right.
It wasn't like a kid that I could and he was done comedy for 17 years. He was trying to get the headliner spot.
Right.
And he thought of himself as a headliner.
So he was out there trying to upstage you and doing all his crowd work.
Right.
Oh, boy.
Maybe he thought getting the headliner room would get him up to the headliner.
I was like, and then he did a joke on stage. He did two jokes, like street jokes. Like he did like two, like a guy and a girl walking to a bar, like kind of, and I was like, so I go up to him like, hey man, those jokes were hilarious from the internet. And then he's like, whatever, man. I go, dude, what are you doing street jokes for? I go, you're a great comic. You're doing fine. He's like, well, I would never do it in LA or New York. I'm like, well, then don't do it in Myrtle Beach. Like, come on, man. You don't need to do that. Like, what's going on here?
Wow.
So, but he was a good comic and he's a nice guy, yada yada. But it was just like, I'm talking about this on the podcast. I'm 100% talking about this on the podcast.
He won't hear it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So CB, where the hell have you been?
Am I allowed to be 100% honest?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So it goes back to last November when my uncle passed away, and that really affected me a lot. And suffering from bipolar depression has really had an effect on me this year. Other than my wedding, which was amazing. I haven't been here since before it. My wedding was amazing. Greg was there.
You look great.
Thank you. I got a haircut this morning because I look like a broke Jew, and I'm not.
All right, go
on. Depression hit me really hard, and I really didn't know how to handle it. I didn't know what to do with myself, and my thoughts in my mind with my demons and everything was, end it. You don't need to fucking be here anymore. Nobody gives a shit about you, I'm sorry if I get choked up here, but this is the reality of my life the last year. And I was looking for every avenue in the world to kind of get rid of life. I didn't feel like I deserved to be here. I didn't feel like I could be loved by anybody. And, right after my birthday, which was the beginning of August, I tried to kill myself. And I was just like, you know what? There's nothing left for me. I'm disappointing so many people. And if it wasn't for my wife coming home when she did, I wouldn't be sitting here to tell this story right now. But I will tell you one thing, there is a positive end. I've started to see doctors. I've seen therapists. I'm on new medication. I've got everything together. I love the people that I love. The people that have stressed me out or brought negativity to my life, I've cut out, including some immediate family members. And you know what? I'm excited to be back here with the Roasted crew, Roasted Nation. They've been asking for a long time. I didn't have an answer because I didn't want to expose this on Twitter or anything like that. But this is where I'm at right now. I'm just working for myself and my well-being. And in about a year or two, I should be back at 100%.
Nice. Well, let's hear it for the wife then, Congratulations, man.
So I'm happy that you failed at that, at killing yourself.
Yeah. My wife is amazing. I love you, Ari. You saved me, and we're just pushing forward.
We need you, brother. Okay, a lot of people love you.
Well, needs a strong word.
A lot of people love you, man. I mean,
we do love you.
Hold on, I got something in my pocket for you.
You can't do it twice. You already did it.
But CB, where were you when you tried to kill yourself?
So here's what happened. Okay, I'd been playing video games. I mean, it was a short session. I'd only been online for 32 hours. right? And unfortunately, I'll tell you what happened. Really, it was my diaper had filled.
Yeah.
To the point where it was actually the shit was pushing up through my shirt.
Why are you wearing a diaper?
Because I couldn't leave the games. I was online. I was playing video games. I'm married now. I don't have to do anything.
Right.
So I was playing the video games, and the shit was coming up through my diaper, and some got in my eye.
Okay.
And I started to get pink eye. Now then, I decided to go ahead and play continuously for another 62 hours.
Wow.
Who knew pink eye could kill you?
Wow.
And that's when my wife came home, and luckily there was a hose, and she was able to hose me off and rinse out my eye, and I managed to survive.
Wow, that's amazing.
Thank you, CB. I definitely needed the affirmation of the whole subject. Thank you, sir. And
fuck Golden Gold is back in business.
And fuck you for making fun of my shoes at my wedding when I wasn't even here to defend myself.
Wait, first of all, when I said you looked good, I was talking about you looking good at your wedding.
No, I know. But you said I wear red velvet shoes with skulls on them. You know, this is how it goes.
CB, we need you, man. So listen, a lot of people love you.
The shoes are pretty dramatic. I love them.
I'm happy.
They went with the suit, okay? I was gonna wear LeBrons, but
I like it. Your wife even made a joke about your shoes.
And dude,
my best man called me a fag all day, so it is what it is.
I'm in trouble.
Because I wasn't here to defend myself.
You're never here. You should have come.
Listen, I
That's what my wife says.
Hello.
It takes a lot of courage to be able to talk about what went wrong.
It does. And you know what? And talking about it is a huge thing. And hopefully you relieved, some of that pressure. And what you were saying about your family, listen, man. And I said this, I have problems with my family. I've said for years, if they can't treat you with the decency they would treat a stranger, I don't have to talk to you.
Yeah.
Just because we're fucking related? No, you're bad to me. We're not talking until you can learn to show me some fucking goddamn decency. And it isn't about treating me like I'm better than average, just as good as you would treat a stranger. You wouldn't walk up to a stranger and say these horrible things. Then we're not talking.
What's the problem with you and your family?
My father and I didn't speak to my father for probably close to a decade.
Wow.
I'm in the same boat.
And so it was just like, no, fuck
Didn't
you.
your father come out of the closet?
Mildly. My other issue with him is if he's got a problem with me, he doesn't man up to come talk to me. He yells at my mom about it and threatens divorce if she keeps loving me the way that she does. He thinks that she puts me above her, and I'm like, yeah, well, I'm not an asshole.
Well, how's the tattoo parlor going?
Shit.
Well, how'd that happen?
Fuck. I don't know. I took a break from that too. I stopped going to work for a while until I quit smoking weed. And then I needed to go back.
Weed?
Yeah,
that explains it. He walks in today, guys. Those of you listening, he walks in today, and his eyes are wide.
It looks like you were on an Adderall.
Totally, and he's like, he was, and I'm like, what kind of version of CB walking in now? But now we know why, because you're not stoned.
Yeah,
so
but you knew how much I smoked.
Oh my god!
I've been sober for 3 months. Well, not sober. I've been drug free.
He had a duffel bag full of marijuana, a duffel bag. I'm like, are you? Is this narcos?
Although it does bring up the question, where's that bag now?
Oh, I smoked it all before I quit.
Good for you. Good for you.
Dude, if you spend
out on your sword.
If you spend $3,000 for weed in a week, yeah, you're gonna smoke all that shit.
And you were telling us that you quit watching WWE? Because I asked you, I go on the internet, everyone's angry about WWE. People are like hashtag ban WWE.
Which I don't understand that, because I thought, from what I'd heard, again, I don't care about wrestling. I think it's the dumbest shit in the universe. But they had The Rock and Hulk Hogan and all this. I'm like, if I were ever going to watch WWE, which I didn't, I would have watched that.
Brock Lesnar and Cain Velasquez.
Well, okay.
So there's my issue. First off, that whole mega show was only one night. Yeah. And it was last Friday because SmackDown debuted on Fox for the first ever time. And of course, if you're going to debut on Fox, just like the UFC, you're going to bring Cain Velasquez in for some reason.
Who, by the way, looks like he needs to hit the gym a little bit.
I was thinking the same thing. He's out of the USADA testing pool, so now he can go juice up as much as he wants. Yeah. Here's my other issue.
Wait a minute. So USADA doesn't test athletes in fake sports? This doesn't make any sense. My mind is blown.
No, but
my mind is blown.
For now, it means he's not going to fight anymore. Because you have to be in the USADA pool for 6 months to get back into MMA once you leave. Here's my other issue. They have a character named Braun Strowman. It's a 400-pound, 6.5-foot dude.
Yeah.
I mean,
and he's fighting Tyson Fury next, right?
Tyson Fury jumps the fucking guardrail and gets in the ring with him. And I'm like, are we really letting this happen? And then
that is what they do.
No, I know, but like nobody knew. Nobody knew who the fuck this guy was. But then last night on Raw, from the videos I saw on the internet,
watching it.
From the videos I saw on the internet, I'm not sitting through 3 hours of that Garbage anymore. Tyson Fury.
Interesting choices.
Tyson Fury threw 15 punches at different security guards.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like a wrestling punch where you almost connect and they fall. Like, it would be me trying to punch you from here and landing here.
Yeah.
Like,
he missed.
It's like 3 feet away and it's blatantly obvious.
He's not a fake wrestler.
No, of course not. But at least they had to have him backstage teaching him some shit.
You're done.
I'm not protesting shit.
You're on to AEW.
I'm in All Elite Wrestling now.
What is this?
It's, if you remember Chris Jericho?
Yes.
He's their world champion.
Okay.
Cody Rhodes started the company, Dusty Rhodes' son.
Yep.
Goldust moved over.
Okay.
He's still Goldust or Dustin Rhodes, whatever. They've got some of the New Japan guys, the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, a bunch of these new guys, some of the guys that have moved over.
Have you graphed any of them?
No. I actually went back to graphing, though, 2 weeks ago.
Oh! Yeah! He's back! He's out of retire. He's a Jay-Z.
And if you ask me, that's what made you depressed. Listen, man, I know we bust your balls about doing something that is not a real job, but
have I ever had a real job?
Exactly. No. We don't have real jobs.
I'm keeping it consistent.
So we're just goofing on you. But I mean, it is silly. Yeah, but here's the thing. But you loved it. You genuinely, and you were really part of that world. And when you just kind of took yourself out of it.
I'm the king of kings, the graph goat.
So the graph goat. You're the
goat. The Hall of Famer.
He's the goat, the greatest grapher of all time.
So you're back now.
A little bit.
Really?
I did Bellator with my best friend who came up from San Diego, and I think we're gonna do the beginning of the year stuff, which is like the Cyborg fight for Bellator, the Fit Expo at the Convention Center. There's a lot of names coming, and I got a Cyborg tattoo.
Can we call Dan Hooker now? Okay, cool. Thank you. Thanks. Wow, look at you. You're back. So now the people think that they saw a ghost when you came back. Were they like shocked that you're back?
I don't think anybody noticed.
Because they all have.
Well, that says it all.
I mean, the Bellator execs noticed.
Can I tell you something? Comedy's the same way. When one of us disappears for a while, like there was one gal that disappeared doing cruises, showed up 9 years later.
Who's that?
And I was Jalen Bishop. Very funny gal.
Yeah.
But I mean, she was just gone.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden she came back. I'm like, oh my God, where did you move to New York? I was like, no, I've been doing cruises. Like she just disappeared for 9 years. And this thing, people just go, and I hate to say it, it's kind of like, I mean, in real life, when you pass, I mean, there is that kind of mourning for a day, but then life just goes on.
I know.
I've never committed 9 years of anything in my life.
What?
I've never committed anything for 9 years of my life.
Well, that's...
Well, let's talk about some of the fights over the week.
Good.
Before we talk to Dan Hooker. You watched the Style Bender?
I did.
Wow. All right. My thoughts on this. I loved it. I love Style Bender. I met him in Vegas. He was the nicest dude. He was like talking to me for like 20 minutes.
One of the only guys you've met that I haven't.
Really, really nice guy. And like a class act. Like I know he comes across cocky in some ways, but that's not how he is. He seems like a real genuine guy. And so does Robert Whittaker. Robert Whittaker came out and said he was battling mental illness as well. And that kind of was alarming to me. Because I'm like, that's not really what you want to hear from a guy fighting. I mean, it's great that you admit that you're battling mental illness, but you're like, if I had money on him, I'd be like, like what's going on here?
Megan Anderson said the exact same thing. She said she almost didn't take the fight because of a mental situation she was going through.
But she won.
She did win, but
yes.
they also
so that just goes to show you could be a motivator. It could be a distraction.
Right.
Some battles are bigger than a fight.
Yeah.
So when that fight first started, the way that it
Hold on 1 second. Is this the new CB? Is it going to be all bumper sticker quotes? Is that what we're going to... Some battles are bigger than a fight.
So
coexist. Jesus fish.
Can't we all just get along?
Can I have your autograph?
Picture.
Are you taking a shit right now, or can you sign this?
Can I sign this right now?
I wanted to say I was in hiding for 7 months, but I knew how that would end. Not in a bush, you fucking asshole.
In a toilet bowl. So, when that fight first started, Robert Whittaker was throwing some wide ass punches. Where I go to my friend next to me, my friend Gal, watching. I'm like, dude, this is not gonna end well. I could just tell that his punches were way too wide, and he was gonna get countered. And that's exactly what happened. I mean, Style Bender just basically beat him to the punch and threw a lot shorter punches. And it was exciting, but that was not the same Robert Whittaker that we've seen in the past. It seemed like he let the moment get to him. It was in.
Do you think he should have had a tune-up fight?
That would have helped. The problem is that there's so many. Yeah, I think that would have helped. I think
the problem was he was the champ and he was the interim champ, so they had to fight.
And he's pulled out of a bunch of fights before that. And
if he came in the same against Yoel Romero, he would have got demolished as well. You think?
I don't know because Romero kind of also a wide striker. They're not great. Romero's a wrestler first,
but it was a very close 2 fights with them. And
what I don't understand also is that this guy made the Olympic team for wrestling in Australia. Granted, it's not U.S. or wherever, but still, it's impressive.
Still Olympian.
Why are we not? He didn't even attempt a shot. Like, not even one takedown. I mean, Style Bender. If you look at strengths, it's striking, it's kicking, it's this. It's this. But then the weakness would probably be wrestling. So why wouldn't we try to expose that? Grind him, get him against the cage, dirty boxing. It seemed like Whittaker was fighting his fight. Now, granted, Stylebender is that good. He's undefeated for a reason, but it was just a little strange. It seemed like Kelvin had a much better game plan against Stylebender than Whittaker had.
I got to tell you, I liked Whittaker's plan, and because I felt he needed to fight dirty. He had to make it an inside dirty fight because from the outside, because Stylebender is also so rangy, so much longer than he was. Well, I mean, he was making it an unusual, I should say, an unpredictable fight.
Yeah.
Okay? And that's what I like. I thought he needed to be unpredictable. I thought the more predictable he was, the easier it was going to be for what's to pick him apart.
But take a shot.
So I thought that, but granted, yes, he probably should have taken a shot, but I like the fact that he was fighting an unpredictable, kind of all over the place fight. I thought that was getting inside, getting kind of dirty and mixing it up. I like that, but in the end, I felt like he did leave himself completely open to a counter shot, which also right on the button and took him out.
Adesanya's head movement is absolutely amazing. I mean, he watched those all come. What do you think of the stoppage, though? Do you think they should have let it go a little bit?
No, he was out.
Because there's people that are like, he's a warrior, he's a champ. They should let it go.
Wasn't he out for the second time? Because he got saved by the bell.
He got very saved by the bell.
Where he was clearly, it was one of those, which again, I was surprised they let him be saved by the bell because it was one of those where he's clearly out on his way down to the ground. Which, if the bell hadn't gone, it sounded when he was mid-fall.
Yeah, but he got right up.
I mean, but we've seen this before when they're clearly that out going down, they go ahead and call it. That's why when they even let it continue from there, that to me was the most shocking part, that they allowed it to continue after that because he was out on his way to the ground.
And then now everyone's talking about having Stylebender fight John Jones. Big mistake. John Jones is just a better version of Stylebender.
Yes, and a bigger version.
A bigger version. He's going to use his wrestling, and that's going to be the end of Stylebender as far as, he may come back and still dominate his weight division, but 185 and 205, it's 20 pounds.
Here's the thing. I think there's, I think we're seeing, sort of like we saw wrestling is a dominant, jiu-jitsu neutralizer. I think what we're seeing is being a longer muscular fighter is a huge advantage.
Yeah.
I mean, we're seeing that with Stylebender. We saw it with John Jones. We've seen it with Dan Hooker. We saw it with Megan. I mean, we see it over and over again. Length is really, on the ground too.
Well,
your ability to use your length to hold them down with your legs.
There are a lot of guys that have the length but don't use it.
Supposedly it's not next, though. Originally, Dana said fight week. If Adesanya wins, we're going to try and make that fight because it's a huge money fight. As of yesterday, I'm reading that Adesanya's fighting Boachinia.
That's going to be a good fight.
He tried to jump the rails when Adesanya gave him the DX suck it.
Yeah.
That was funny, but and then Cejudo and Coach Eric, Captain whatever his name is, they tried to put their hands over Boachinia, and I'm like, this dude walks around at 230. What the hell are you two gonna do?
Right.
But I don't know. What do you guys think of that fight, Adesanya and Paulo Costa?
I haven't seen enough of Paulo Costa. He looked great against Romero. He did not look that great against Uriah Hall. I mean, he looked great against Johnny Hendricks, but Hendricks was like a shot Johnny Hendricks at that point.
Yeah.
But, two undefeated fighters, it's going to be entertaining.
It's first time ever for the middleweight championship.
I'm excited to see that. Yeah, I was really impressed with him against Yoel Romero, but I also think Yoel's like 97 years old. I mean,
He just won't admit it.
he's like, with Cuban athletes, you don't know how old they are in any sport.
Yeah.
I mean, Cuban guys, it's just
They
like,
basically look, especially if they shave their head. The hair's usually the giveaway.
Like Hector
But if they
Lombard.
shave their head, then you can't tell.
By the way, Hector Lombard today made it official. He's now in bare knuckle boxing.
Did you see who signed 2 weeks ago?
What?
Vanderlei Silva signed 2 weeks
Vanderlei
ago.
wants to fight Vitor Belfort in bare knuckle
I'm
boxing.
like, what year is this?
Tell me you wouldn't watch it, though.
Oh, fuck yeah, I'd watch it. You know what I'm not going to watch?
What?
Is Alberto Del Rio and Tito Ortiz.
Yeah, you will.
No, I won't.
It's free.
No, it's not. It's $20 for the pay-per-view.
Now, what's this?
$20 ain't that bad, though.
Now, what is this? Del Rio's a professional wrestler, right?
He was a professional wrestler, but before that, he's fought twice in Pride. He has an MMA career. He was Dos Caras Jr. in Pride, and if you remember, he got against the corner of the ring fighting Mirko Krokop, and Mirko kicked his fucking head off his shoulders, and he just dropped into a slumped, like, fetal position. And, you know...
Is that one of those knockouts they use in all the clips? Because I feel like I've seen that one.
If it's a Pride knockout,
Yeah,
you've
'cause
seen
it's-
it. He's wearing a black and
totally.
white mask.
I
think I've definitely seen that.
Hooker? How are we doing on Hooker?
Well, I haven't had one in a while. Oh,
You put the code in wrong? Okay, cool. All right, thank you.
I
You haven't had a
just...
Hooker in a while, you said?
yeah, I thought that's what you were.
No, by the way, I couldn't believe, speaking of that fight, Dan Hooker, Ally Quinta, have we ever seen him get dominated like that? I mean, even against Khabib, he lost 50-45, but it was close. I mean, he was...
Yeah, one judge gave him 30-26.
That was crazy. And Dan Hooker...
Those leg kicks, though, ruined his life.
You want to know why Quinta lost?
Why?
He didn't bring his new sparring partner in, the Bagel Boss.
Oh, my God. That you ever happened to Bagel Boss, by the way?
He backed out
Of the screech
and thought he
fight.
would, and acted like, oh, I punked you all. I punked you.
Yeah.
But the first guy backed out too.
And I'm like, okay,
Thanks, Jeff.
you punked him, but now you owe them all this money.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
You know, and I don't think he punked anybody. I think he chickened out
Yeah.
and then decided to be like, I got you. It's like, no, you didn't. You chickened the fuck out.
But this is what happens when you make idiots famous.
Yeah.
When you take people off the street who are not behaving well at all, showing kind of bad manners, bad this, and then you were like, hey, you're now a celebrity. Like, you don't think that there's a reason?
Listen, and you know what? I think we should be
guy
able
was
to, I mean,
living
when
in a-
something says you've gone viral, that has never been good throughout history. Okay?
But, I mean, it seems to work for the Catch Me Outside girl. Like, she has a whole career now. She has a rap career.
She's Young Money.
Does she?
She's Young Money.
She's made a lot of money.
She's part of Lil Wayne's crew, and
she
she's
really?
made a ton. She's been on the iTunes top 200 like 6 or 7 songs, and it's ridiculous because she could barely rap a president, let alone a song. But
Damn.
I mean,
Bars.
but the same,
Boy,
but the same thing. Why are people buying the pay-per-view to go watch Logan Paul in a boxing ring again?
Well, Logan Paul actually...
He has a following, yes,
He's
but he's a
decent fighter.
clown. I want him to fight Dylan Danis already since he's been talking so much
Who do you
shit.
think wins that fight?
Oh, Dylan
Dylan
Danis
Danis.
all day long.
I don't know.
In
Logan
an
Paul,
MMA fight? All day long.
Logan Paul's got
I'd
better...
put $1,000 on it right now.
I don't know about that. Logan Paul's
If
got...
it's an MMA fight.
I don't know about that. Logan Paul's got better boxing, and he's got better wrestling. He was like took second in the state of Ohio or fourth in Ohio. Dylan Danis has much better jiu-jitsu, but I don't know.
But Dylan Danis is a fighter. This kid's a YouTuber who has fought. I
And
think
who's
experience.
KSI? I still don't know
think
who this dude
experience
is.
would be.
Dylan Danis has 2 fights.
But he's trained.
But jiu-jitsu
like,
competitions, he's world champion.
exactly. Like he trains.
ain't no slouch on the
while
ground.
the other
He'll
kid's been
probably
making
pull guard.
YouTube
The other
videos
kid's-
for the last while. I think he's been in the gym training. So I don't know. I think you're right. Obviously, Dylan Danis should win this fight. But
If
I
it
think
happens.
it would be closer than.
But it probably will
you
never
think.
happen, so it doesn't matter.
Wait,
Why-
is Logan
they
Paul?
might make that fight happen.
Is Logan
I would
Paul
love
the
it
one
if
that
they
was
did.
filming the dead Japanese
Yep.
people?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Because him and his brother, I don't know the
There's
difference.
Jake Paul.
Jake Paul and Logan Paul, but I don't know which
He's
one's
a pretty
which.
decent wrestler, and he's jacked.
No, you can tell he looks like a wrestler.
Yeah.
I can see that. I totally believe that.
I mean, he wasn't like, he wasn't a college wrestler. But
He's
he was
not an
a really good high school
All-American.
wrestler. He was, Ohio was a good wrestling state. And to place in the Ohio States, you have to be good.
No, and I'm sure.
He's not the New England 8th grade tri-state
I was
champion.
a New England prep school champion 4 years in a row.
That's
I was
right.
only the second person to ever win it 4 years in a row.
That's crazy. 4 years in a row.
Yeah.
How many people spend 4 years in 8th grade?
I think CB, actually.
No, that was kindergarten.
So that was, by the way, and, Megan won. I'll tell you what fight I liked was the Asian girl against.
Oh, the one who got sucker
You
kicked?
see that? The girl, I was on.
Oh, I
Fight
did
Fest.
not
Cassim,
watch that
whatever
one.
his
I'm
name.
The girl,
sorry.
they were touting this girl as the next big thing. She goes out to shake hands and it kicks the girl in the ribs, like during the handshake.
Yeah, but then
A
2
dirty fucking handshake?
Yeah.
But then 2
What?
seconds. Hold on. But then
What is this? WWE?
But Greg, it gets better. Literally 2 seconds later, she rushes in, left hook, face plant.
Yeah. She
Instant karma.
No, but she got up. It was a good fight.
I know
for a
she
while.
got up, but
then
I
this
was like,
little-
end it here. That's hilarious.
But this Asian girl won. She put it on her. The Asian
Good.
girl put it on her after that.
Good.
So I was
What a
happy.
dumbass.
I was happy about that. And then Bellator had some good fights. Lorenz Larkin, right? That was a good fight.
I was watching that at dinner. I went out with the wife, and I got my phone up, and I was watching it. My only issue,
You know, wives love that.
she was watching it with me.
was
She's become
she?
a huge
Boy,
MMA
you found
fan.
the right wife. Boy,
No,
I'll
what he
tell
did
ya.
was he set the bar so low that like there's nothing he can't do now where she's not like,
Oh, totally. She's like, hey, listen, you're not killing yourself. I love it. Let's have some. Let's get the bacon wrap dates.
I thought you were talking about her, and I'm like, why are we bringing her into
No, I'm
this? She's a
saying,
saint.
I'm saying you like woke up and she's like, oh, what a great guy.
Exactly. Like you
Honestly,
lowered
the next few nights after the whole episode, she would check on me like every couple hours to make sure I was still breathing.
That's a good wife.
She's
That
a
is
very good wife.
and she loves you, and she's taking care of you. That's a
She
good
does.
wife. You did good.
She does.
That's good, man. That's hard to find.
Now this week,
Especially in LA.
Let's talk
It's
about-
a lot of
I
self.
hide in bushes. It really wasn't that difficult.
Did you hide in her bush? Is that what happened? Yeah, there it is. Love at first graph.
she in the bush.
What?
Your girl's got a bush.
No.
He's
Greg
joking.
made that
We're
up.
Making jokes here.
All
you
right.
He's waited 7 months to fucking destroy me here.
I never want to destroy. Well, sometimes.
All right. So also let's talk about some fights coming up this week.
Oh,
I don't have my phone on.
I have
because We're waiting on Dan.
I got him right here.
All right. Tell me what's going on this week.
You want the main event first?
Yeah.
Joanna Jacek and the karate hottie Michelle Watterson.
Whoa, that's a good fight.
That's a very good fight, and I don't know who to pick.
Joanna recently went off on Kolby Covington. About
Joanna's
how-
going off on a lot of people
She went off on
lately.
Kolby saying that he's not being a good training partner, that he's isolated himself from the gym. We're having Kolby on next Tuesday, by the way.
Are we really?
Oh, jeez.
Oh boy.
He was supposed to, yeah, so excited about that. Now,
Listen, and that's the thing. The guy, and here's the thing. Listen, this is who he's decided to be, and he's using it to his advantage.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, sometimes you just pick a side, and you just, I mean, he's picked a group of people that he agrees with, apparently, and are very vocal fans.
but his teammates, though, he shouldn't go off on his teammates.
Well, yeah, I'm not talking about that.
That's kind of that's what Joanna
He's got a
was
lot of
talking about.
enemies at that gym.
Yeah.
Well, Joanna is technically an immigrant, so
She's pretty hot. You ever see her, like, without...
like dolled up?
Dolled up? Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I haven't.
She
looks-
got new boobies, too.
Yeah, she got new, yeah.
Well, she was pretty, yeah.
By the way, Paige Vanzant, her Instagram is out of control. You see it? She's like, something's different about me. And she's like red hair, but her tits are like in the thing. And you're like, she's like, what? And everyone's like, I
Yeah.
wonder-
Okay, did you see she has a signature shoe now?
Really?
Yes, there is a PVZ shoe
Wow.
that you can buy, and for all you fuckers,
Run away from real competition?
well, it's the last fight on her contract.
She fights everybody.
It's the last fight on her contract, and she's made it vocal recently that I make more money off my Instagram sponsors than I do in the cage. And it's like, well, then you've got your mindset on what you want to do.
She happens to be a good fighter. And her boyfriend's a
But
fucking awesome dude. as well.
her Instagram followers follow her because of her work in the cage.
Somewhat. Have you seen her Instagram?
No, I know it's very sexy. No, I know it's very sexy, but I mean that's how the knowledge got to her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
You know,
Right,
Macy
right.
Barber's been calling her out. What was that whole thing with her talking to the boyfriend or the husband, and that whole controversy about
Macy
Macy Barber texting Austin, and Paige got pissed off. and-
Really?
Yeah, you didn't hear about this?
I
Like
know
a month?
Austin has a tattoo of an eye right on his throat. And I said, so now you can see how much of a tool he really is. So I said,
I don't like the throat tattoos.
Really?
We don't do them. We don't
So
do
you have
anything.
90 million horrible tattoos on your body.
I-
You have the Joker writing ha 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 everywhere.
Yeah, and right now it's the biggest movie in America, so suck it. They're relevant sometimes, motherfucker.
Touche. All right,
They are for 2 weekends every 10 years. They're relevant fucking.
I'm okay with that.
More people walked out of his tattoo parlor than the Joker.
No, people would actually have to come into the tattoo parlor to walk
Oh
out.
boy. Uh oh.
Trying to connect with him and your phone died.
I was hoping you guys would have a charger back there. Thank you.
So, Joanna, Michelle, What are we thinking?
I think Joanna's gonna win. I think every time Michelle steps up to like the next level competition,
Is she the female cowboy?
it seems like she is same camp, right? Or used to be the same camp. It seems like every time she shows up, right? It seems like it kind of messes up. And I think Joanna seems to be the only girl that she can't beat is Thug Rose, and when she stepped up to Valentina, which is a pretty good fight, the Valentina fight. So I would say Waterson. Although Waterson did win her last fight, right? Who'd she beat? She beat somebody decent.
I thought she beat Tisha. Did she beat Tisha?
She beat somebody good, but
hold on.
I still think that.
Fact checking.
Who do you think wins that fight?
Carolina.
Yeah.
Be Carolina.
For me, it's Joanna all day. I think she's, she's ready for a comeback, and hopefully she's focused. And because I think what happened was I think she just got, satisfied.
She started coasting.
Totally. I think she lost the hunger, I think is what happened. And because when she was hungry, when she wanted it, she was unstoppable. Yeah.
Go to that Carla fight.
You couldn't hit her enough times. You couldn't take her down. She was an incredible, her punching power and the speed of those fists of fury. She was phenomenal. And then she just kind of lost it.
Look at the Carla fight.
I was the first one on her bandwagon.
Yes.
The first time I saw her, earliest, I was like, this girl's going to be a champ. I was saying the tiny fists of fury are unbelievable. And then you're right, she just started coasting and she kind of lost that.
I think she got more into like her theatrics and
she was trying to be more like the big personality fighter. Oh, I'm a champ and attitude and all these things that like before she was. To be honest, and let me be honest, that like the darkness under her eyes.
Yeah,
she looked like a girl that had come out of the muck and had scrapped her way into just doing something.
Almost that Smeagol look.
Yeah, I'm here to, and nothing else mattered but killing that other person. And then all of a sudden she became a personality.
She kind of believed her own hype.
Totally. And I can't be beat. I'm the female Conor McGregor, basically was kind of what she morphed into.
Yeah, if she loses this fight, I think she should leave AT&T.
And she's lost 2 in a row, right? She lost 2 in a row?
AT&T or American Top Team is, in my opinion, the best camp in the country, but for some people it doesn't gel. And she was undefeated before going there, has lost her last 3 out of 4.
Who?
Joanna. So I would say maybe it's time for a different camp.
All I want to see is
all
I want to see is the hunger back. Are the dark circles under her eyes again? Because if she comes out with dark bags under her eyes, she can't be beat. If she comes out looking like a performer, and then she's going to get beat again.
Who else is on this card?
Cub Swanson and Kron Gracie.
Please, Cub Swanson win. Talk about a guy. I love Kendra Perez, but she's too hot. Here's what happens. You end up.
That's what your problem is?
No.
He's getting too hot a piece of ass?
Look at it.
So you want him to lose?
No, I want him to win. He keeps losing.
I
think that sometimes when guys get wives that are too hot, it messes up their psyche. You look at
they get satisfied. Again, satisfaction is a dangerous emotion for a fighter. Hunger, that's what wins.
You look at thank you very much. Are we calling him?
Got him on it again.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah, it's like he's having trouble on his end, but we tested it. The call works. I'm just trying to walk him through it.
Sure, no problem. It's all good. It's all growing pains, right?
Yep.
Thank you guys for your effort. It's much appreciated. We don't know what goes on in there, and I could never do your job. So thank you very much, my man.
So it seems like a lot of times when artists, even when A-Rod was banging J-Lo. Oh, he was A-Rod was dating somebody. I forgot who it was. Or Derek Jeter when he was dating Mariah Carey back in her prime.
Was it Mariah?
He just completely fucked it up.
Yeah, that's Can't Stop Crazy with Mariah Carey.
The guy Gavin from Bush.
Yeah.
When he hooked up with the girl from No Doubt.
Gwen Stefani.
They never had a hit after that.
But they were terrible before.
I was going to say.
No, they weren't.
Yes, they were. In fact, Gwen knocking him out of music was pretty much her greatest contribution to the arts.
Bobby Brown, right, before Whitney Houston, was
he again was garbage.
No, he was not. That first Bobby, My Prerogative.
He had one good song, My Prerogative.
Step I Take.
Not a good song.
The Truth About Roni.
Also bad.
All great songs. All right.
I liked his Ghostbusters song.
That was also a good song. Yeah. And then when there's a danger of getting.
He took Mariah from us. That's all he did.
You mean Whitney?
Not Mariah. Whitney.
Whitney and her daughter.
Whitney did not take Bobby Brown from us. Bobby Brown took Whitney from us.
And her daughter.
Guy Ritchie.
And Madonna.
Remember his movies were the shit.
And then she ruined him. Yep.
I'm telling you.
And then he was back.
Didn't everybody Madonna dated crew over there.
Well, she's a vampire.
Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman, Carmen Electra. Like he never had a rebound after that. There is a danger of too hot pussy. Right.
Well, yeah, because the maintenance factor goes up, and your focus becomes about trying to keep them together, and so guess what suffers? Your career.
And I worry about Cobb with this.
And he's with Training Labs, so I don't understand. He's training with killers every day, and
he's been fighting killers too, though.
No, I know. I'm saying,
but if you have that hot piece of ass at home, okay, before that piece of ass, you're just staying there the whole time, and people are like, "Are you gonna go home?" Like, no, fuck no. Let's do this again. Let's roll again. All of a sudden, you got this hot piece of ass. You're like, I don't know. That was a good 45 minutes. All right, I gotta go check on that. Listen. Same thing happened in my comedy career. So I met my wife, and I was like, I don't need to be here anymore, guys. I got this beautiful woman at home. So goodbye.
I'm telling you, Cub Swanson in his prime, I think beats Kron Gracie all day because Kron Gracie just is an amazing at jiu-jitsu, but doesn't have the well-roundedness. But Cub is sort of towards the tail end.
Yeah, I think you have two fighters on two different trajectories.
Yeah.
They're passing each other on those trajectories. And I think Kron is only going to, this is another step for him up the ladder, and it's another part of the slide down for Cub.
I hope
That's what I see, clear as day.
I also got Kron because, it may not make a huge difference, but he's training with the 209. He's training with the Diaz brothers and all those guys. Chris Avila.
The Cub Swanson all day.
He's training with AJ Agazarm. I think he's really coming up. I got
Sorry,
Kron.
can I change my pick? No, I'm kidding.
I got Kron. I think he'll replicate the same formula that Brian Ortega did, but he has a little bit better jiu-jitsu, and I got Kron all day.
I'm pulling for Cub. I got Cub in this. I believe in Cub. All right, go on.
Here's the real question. Does a bounce back from pregnancy hurt Mackenzie Dern's career?
Well, Mackenzie Dern's fighting. Who's she fighting?
Amanda Rebus, who I don't know because she doesn't have a Wikipedia page.
Awesome. Mackenzie Dern obviously was amazing at jiu-jitsu, sub Gabby Garcia.
And it's back at 115, by the way.
Subbed Gabby Garcia.
Yes, she did.
So she has a future in rodeo. If this whole...
And Gabby also over the weekend
jumped on her neck. It was like a monkey.
It was a backpack.
So she pulled a Master Blaster.
It was a backpack.
What's a Master Blaster?
When you have a little person on your shoulder controlling everything.
Dude, it really was like...
Who runs Bartertown? All right.
Yeah, that's kind of what it was.
Yeah.
She just leaped on her, and then...
Again, career in rodeo.
So she's fighting now, but she's got Bubba Jenkins training her in wrestling.
In wrestling, couldn't have a better coach.
Yes. What
about wrestling?
What about
Dan
life?
Gable?
What about life?
For wrestling.
So, by the way,
and also maybe overstated.
I've had easier time getting real hookers than Dan Hooker on this podcast, by the way. Are we close?
It's just he has to respond every time I tell him a direction to do.
Yeah.
I don't know how his phone is working. But your phone works with it. My phone works with it.
He's in Australia, though. He's in Australia.
Yeah, it shouldn't matter. I don't know what's happening.
Okay. All right. Got it.
Although it is, the other side of the world.
Yeah.
So that, getting
all good.
Technology to connect can be a little tricky sometimes with that kind of distance.
By the way, keep all this. This is actually kind of funny. All right. So, I think Mackenzie Dern. I mean, they want her to be a star.
They want her to be a star, yeah.
She just gave birth.
Yeah, that's what I don't understand. It seems like a very, very quick comeback from giving birth. It feels like it's only been a couple months.
Well, the key is to neglect your baby. That's really.
I heard she gave birth to 3 cheeseburgers. I think no. So
it's at 115 again too. Could she make the weight? Did the baby weight
according
come
to
off?
According to Bubba, she's on weight. Yeah. So
right now.
So all right. So who else is on this card?
You got 2 of your buddies.
Who?
Gerald Mearshart.
Yes.
And your boy, Eric Anders.
Eric Anders. Oh, I hate this fight. I like both these guys. Gerald Mearshart's a nice guy.
The striker versus the submission
sweet guy. Good guy, funny guy. Eric Anders is my boy. He happens to be a friend. Ooh, this is going to be a tough one because Eric Anders hits so fucking hard. He's a guy, he played for Alabama.
Yeah.
Amazing
I like Eric
player.
Anders.
But
that Tim Williams knockout was vicious.
Yeah, he connects. He connects. But Gerald's better on the ground.
Gerald's amazing on the ground.
So it's a matter of...
But he's big.
Who's big?
Gerald Mearshart for 185. He's really big.
But look at Eric Anders.
I know Anders is too, but Anders has fought at 205 as well.
Fuck.
I'm not as familiar with the other guy. I like Eric Anders, though. I think he's incredible.
He's
Mearshot's a guy that kind of sticks under the radar, but super talented and has a decent amount of like named victories.
I mean, he's won the last 7 out of the last 8. He's a very unknown guy. He's also not like a huge personality. He's just a fighter. He told me Ben Askren, they've sparred 90 rounds. He's never gotten one. He got a takedown once on him. That's how good
Askren's gotten one takedown on Mearshart?
He's got one on Askren.
Oh, Mearshart has one?
That's how good Askren is. Which I think people are forgetting how good Askren is.
Should have just thrown a flying knee.
I know, right?
Well, Askren's given him a few things to allow them to forget it. So.
I just hate the fact that he's the poster boy highlight reel KO in like all of the UFC now. That's all
American
they
Top
show.
Team, they put a mural
of the knee?
Yeah, of that knee. I mean,
Masvidal has merch sales now because of that knee.
No, you walk in, there's a huge mural of just Askren bending over and him hitting that knee.
That knee coming straight up into his face. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Well, and it was also, the way he went out cold.
Not even cold. He's
woke up
still
yesterday.
waking
I mean,
up. I was going to say.
Okay, do you remember like the beginning of remember back in the day, and you have to be older to remember this, but the ABC's Wild World of Sports, and they would get to the agony of defeat, and then they would show the most horrific fucking like ski accident of all time.
Yeah.
That's what this knockout has become.
Dude, I was depressed.
Like when they talk about just, when they want to show just total lights out, there it is.
Dude, he texted me like an hour before the thing about like, hey, our video's doing really well. And I was
Well,
like,
and some say that contributed, so.
I was like, well, I contributed?
Yes. You're all distracted making videos and shit.
I was telling him,
he's
like-
doing this baby shark video when he's about to have this huge fight. He's like, baby shark, baby. And meanwhile, the other guy's in there practicing flying knees.
No, I told him, hey, man, you know what's going to get more views? Like, you fucking submitting Masvidal. Like, I tried to get him back on track. But they said that's Askren. His coaches said that he was the guy that, like, Tyron Woodley would say, they'd be at a tournament, and they'd be like, hey, you got a match. He'd be like, when? He's like, in 8 seconds. He's like, oh, really? And then he would go out and just he would go out and pin the guy.
And then Tyron Woodley would take a picture with Masvidal after the fight.
Like I heard in Bellator, like they would say like his buddy from college would be like, I bet you can't pin me in a cradle. He'd be like, yeah, I could. This is what his coach told me. He'd be back wrestling in the locker room. He'd be like, hey, they'll be like, Ben, you have to walk out now. Like, can you give him 5 minutes? Like, because he's wrestling with his buddies. Like, he's one of those guys that.
And some guys are better at that. They're better if they're just distracted leading up to it, so they're not over-focused. Totally. Sometimes it's better to just kind of have something else to do so that you're not over-focused on what's coming and getting in your head about it. And maybe that is his process, but it didn't add up.
I just like Askren won't wear shoes. He only wears sandals everywhere.
He doesn't use deodorant either. He refuses. He never uses deodorant in his entire life.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of lucky family.
I love the guy. I happen to love him.
And I think he's a great
I wanted
guy,
him
too.
to win, and I was just like... But the problem is, you're like, hey, listen...
Wait a minute, but hold on. Did you think he was going to win?
Honestly, I thought he was. I thought he was going to get immediate takedown and just beat the shit out of him.
He's never lost. He's 19-0. He's never lost. He's an amazing fighter.
Yes, but some of those wins were shocking.
He was a 2-time national champion. He was an Olympian wrestler.
Again, especially the fight before where he basically got lucky to survive.
The Lawler fight?
He didn't get lucky. That was a bulldog choke.
But he had been losing the fight.
Oh, yeah, he was definitely getting killed.
So that's what I'm saying. He won the fight, but only because he caught him in a choke at the end. He had been losing consistently the entire fight. So there wasn't a lot going into it to say that he wasn't, in a position where he could get beat, because to me, he absolutely was.
I didn't think that was going to happen. And I just think that if Askren would have just grabbed him, it might have been a different fight. I mean, Askren has that weird strength that, like, he grabs you, you're not getting...
Right.
It's like Khabib has that weird... People tell me they fought Khabib. They've never felt that kind of strength. I don't think we're getting Dan Hooker today, huh?
I don't
Got a
know.
better shot getting one on Sunset.
Well, we are currently on Sunset.
It takes a while for him to answer back to me. I don't know what his.
Is there any way we can use Skype? We can't use Skype with this program?
I mean, we would have to set up Skype. This is the way that we do it, and it works. I don't know. I just don't know why. All he has to do is click a link and add himself. For some reason, his end.
It's got to be international problems. I mean, seriously.
Goddamn foreign policy.
No, I'm just saying, like, as great as technology is,
there's so many
we're
holes.
still traversing the planet to make this happen, and not all technology can do that easily.
Yeah.
You want another big one?
Yes.
Nico Price and James Vick.
Ooh, that's a good fight.
And it's at 170, so Vick is staying at the 170.
That's a good fight because James Vick has gotten murked his last couple fights.
That's what I worry about this weekend.
And he's so good. But Nico Price, also a great fight, but fights very reckless. This should be fight of the night. There's no way someone's not getting knocked out in this fight.
Right.
I can't wait for it, too. Nico Price is a nice guy. He trains out in Florida. He's from Naples, got a family, great guy. Price is also just a great dude. It's going to be a good fight.
I just remember, and I don't think anybody will ever forget it because it was like one of the first ones, when Nico Price, I think, had Randy Brown off the bottom in side control, and he just hammer fisted him from his back and finished it.
And he told me, there's an interview I did with him on Rockfin that he actually practiced that in practice.
How do you even, why would you like, this is a good idea. You know, the same way that Liam McGeary got the triangle from bottom side, and I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
It's true. So, also, isn't there a Bellator this week? When's Roy Nelson fighting Frank Mir?
Oh, who cares?
You heard about that?
Are they fighting?
Yeah.
In
Bellator.
Bare knuckle.
I literally thought it was going to be bare knuckle.
Okay, Greg, it's a hot dog eating contest.
That would have actually made a lot more sense.
He's got to shave his beard for bare knuckle, by the way. You can't have that beard from bare knuckle, right?
Right.
I don't think Roy's got that many left in him. Frank, too, but I think they're both going to call it soon.
It depends on what we're talking about in him. Are we talking about like farts, hot dogs? What are we talking?
So, is that this weekend? Oh, yeah, October 12th, but it's not really worth discussing because it's out of Italy, which means we won't see it for the next month.
So it's the same guy. Is it Sakara again?
The main event is Rafael Carvalho and Vadim Nemkov.
Yeah.
Melvin Manhoef's on the card.
Oh, that guy.
Alessio Sakara's on the
He's always on the
card.
card in Italy.
Kirill Sedenikov is on the card. Yeah. I mean, these are only guys that I've heard of.
Right.
But like I said, it's out of Italy. So nobody's going to see this on DAZN or TV.
Well, last week they had...
Is it Bellator?
It's Bellator.
Okay.
Last week they had this guy, Joey, this Bellator guy.
Joey Davis?
Joey Davis. Never lost in college. He's now on the post-lims.
So was Derek Anderson.
They do a thing now where instead of the prelims, after the main event, they show you more fights.
It's been like that for a while because they can't get the time on DAZN or Paramount early enough.
Well, I don't know.
It's the dumbest shit because I was telling my wife about it, and I'm
I think I saw one of those where I was like, wait a minute, there's another fight?
Well, it used to be like, they would just have local guys that aren't even televised on the post list.
Right.
The guys that like basically like sold tickets. So if you basically bringer fighters,
right,
so you bring 40 people, you could fight basically. And then
dude, we need to get 40 people together.
And then that's a post lim, right? But now they're having like great guys on the post lim.
They're dark matches, but they're dumb because most of the people that are there are watching the main event. And then they're like, all right, I'm out. And then they're like, well, there's post-slims coming. People stay in your seats.
Win?
It was Derek. He won against Bomba.
Wow.
Who was an Ultimate Fighter vet.
Yeah.
I'm like, I looked at the card and I'm like, Joey Davis and Derek Anderson and Bomba on the fucking post-slims?
Yeah.
Bomba was also
post-slims?
Demi Lovato's first. It is now.
I feel like this word was just kind of put together to explain.
You know what they were called in wrestling?
Why they were still having fights.
They were called dark matches because unless you were in the arena, you didn't see them. But now they're putting them on Paramount.
Congo versus Rampage or something? Or?
Oh boy.
No, but like and Bomba was Demi Lovato's first MMA boyfriend.
What was that?
I said Bomba was Demi Lovato's first MMA boyfriend.
Yeah, then she dated like CB Dalloway for a while, right?
No, she dumped Bomba for Luke Rockhold.
But then I think she dated Dalloway for a second because I remember I was at a fight she was sitting behind her and she was going crazy for CB Dalloway, and it was the one where Dalloway got like knocked out after the fight. Remember like,
listen, if there's a consolation prize, Demi Lovato's not a bad one.
But it was that
Unless
fight where
she's
like
popping oxys.
It was
listen, whatever it takes.
It was a fight where Hector Lombard hit him like after the bell.
Oh yeah.
Remember Hector Lombard?
Didn't that happen 2 rounds in a row?
Yeah, and then CB got like rushed off, and then Demi left like crying or something. So I think they might. I don't know. It seemed like they were together.
The Mir and Big Country fight is the 25th. So it's 2 weeks from Friday. But they're doing 2 events in a row. Phil Davis is back on that card, by the way. Rowdy Beck's debuting in Bellator on that card.
Oh,
Jack Swagger's on that card.
Who
We'll
are
have
you
to
fighting?
send her. We need to send her a case of fat burners.
Another
Rowdy Beck, actually, we didn't get, unfortunately, Hooker in, but Rowdy Beck, another Hooker. We have Rowdy Beck calling in right now. Rowdy, how are you?
How are you? Good to be here.
So you're fighting in Bellator?
Fighting in Bellator, so excited, ready to fight in Bellator. I was in there, I tried to do some of the beer nickel boxing. I did the beer knuckle boxing, and I missed being able to use my feet.
Oh, now you were doing great. You're undefeated in bare knuckle boxing, though.
That's
and the
right.
first female champion.
That's right.
So-
I made the cover of USA Today.
Yeah, so why are you not staying there? Wait, why? Greg, stop laughing. Why are you not staying in bare knuckle boxing?
First of all, the money wasn't very good, and they tested me for my fat burners.
Oh, yeah, I remember the fat burners.
They told me I couldn't take my fat burners, and I said, well, forget it. I don't even need this.
Now, are you have a boyfriend now? Are you seeing anybody?
I've been seeing this one guy. Technically, he's a wild coyote.
A coyote you're dating?
That's right. I'm dating a coyote.
Wow.
Dingo. You guys it's a dingo. I'm dating a dingo.
Is that legal to date animals?
Well, if you are one,
In Australia, it is.
No, I don't.
anything goes in the epic.
All right, well, thank you,
We
Rowdy.
get together, we have a blooming onion. It's spectacular.
Well, thank you, Rowdy
They
Beck.
don't
Good luck.
actually have bloomin' onions in Australia.
How do you know?
Well, good luck.
I'm Randy Beak.
Good luck in Bellator. Also, we have Bob Sapp calling in. Bob Sapp, how are you?
So good to be here. I love being on MMA Roasted. You know, I just got accused of murdering a person, which I didn't do. Did not murder anybody. They accused me of the craziest stuff.
Now, why did you get accused of murdering somebody?
Because I killed him. But it was self-defense. Anybody that saw it will tell you that.
All right, well, I'm sorry. I'm glad that you're not going to jail, I think.
Oh, definitely. Not again.
Now, do you have any fights coming up?
Yeah, I just finished fighting a Big Mac.
Okay, you fought who won?
Yeah, well, it was a double. So, but I got him.
You didn't tap.
No, not this. Well, they didn't pay me enough. So,
It seems like they pay you to lose sometimes.
well, listen, I'll take a check so long as it clears.
All right, well, thank you, Bob Sapp. Big fan of yours, man. Huge fan of yours, Bob Sapp. Thank you very much.
He's gonna kill me.
So that Mir Nelson is part of a 2-night event for Bellator?
Yes, well, is that because the guy's so fat it has to go there?
It might be. But the next night...
It's the first ever two-parter where it's just continued the next night because both of them are so old and fat they need to take a break halfway through the second round.
They're like, we'll footage this tomorrow.
Totally, and they're like, stay tune in tomorrow for the exciting conclusion of round 2 of 3.
Did wrestling used to do that? Like they used to be like half the match would be on Saturday. You know, next Saturday to find out who won the rest of the match. I think they used to do that.
No, I think what they did for WrestleMania a couple times was they'd have it in 3 different arenas, like across the country. So they'd be like, okay, Macho Man and Hogan, we're in Michigan. Now we're going to pan over to the Los Angeles Forum where we're meeting King Kong Bundy and Andre the Giant.
That's not what I was talking about, but okay. Good.
I know. No, the next night is actually a really big deal for Bellator.
Why?
It's the $1 million finale of the welterweight tournament, the rematch between Rory McDonald and Douglas Lima.
Oh, that's actually pretty good. When is that?
That's the 26th of October.
I like Rory, but I hope Lima wins.
I want Lima to win.
Yeah.
I was at the first fight.
Yeah, but how glad are they that Rory McDonald made it? Because they put all this money into bringing him over.
They put a lot of
all the press, everything. If he'd gotten knocked out before making the finals, it would have been a big waste of fucking
It's
time.
like ONE FC. That's their business plan is to pay guys like Sage Northcutt, Eddie Alvarez, bring them over, put them up against these unknown great guys, and have them get knocked out in 45 seconds. I'm like, that's what's been going on.
Well,
at ONE FC.
but for the record, that is Sage Northcutt's signature move.
Getting knocked out.
Getting knocked the fuck out.
He's a good fighter. I don't know, but
If it's a
man.
karate tournament for points,
Yeah, he is a very good point karate tournament. But he's gotten better. But they put him up against a guy that was a better kickboxer than him at one. He got murked. It was rough.
Do you guys remember Sabah Homasi from the UFC?
No.
I think he was out of ATT. He got knocked out by Razak Al Hassan, and they did a rematch because it was like a DQ knockout.
was
or
it held
something.
in a hookah lounge?
No, it was in the UFC. Anyways, he's fighting Paul Daly on that card.
Ooh, Paul Daly, another guy that like always wins the fights. You think he's gonna win, and then when he steps up, it's just Well, listen, Greg Wilson's got to go.
I got to go. I hate to leave you early.
That's our podcast today.
Is that right? Oh, okay. Good,
yeah,
good.
because Dan Hooker.
It's not going to happen with Hooker. That sucks, too, because it would have been cool to talk to him. Coming off that big win.
It's not the fault.
And it was a dominant win to boot.
It was a miscommunication.
Over a real tough guy that could have won it at any point.
Quinta.
Can we just Skype him in and just...
Quinta?
That's how they said it when they announced him. Which, by the way,
because they don't know shit to say.
Something? And maybe everyone's going to give me shit about it, but does anyone else, okay, they've changed so many things about the UFC. Is anyone else ready for a new announcer?
Then Bruce Buffer?
Come on.
I like Joe Martinez.
I'm sorry. I am over it with Bruce Buffer. I don't like his style, his overplaying. And I know that. And that's great. And that's very sweet of him. But I'm just sick of, first of all, I never thought he was a particularly good announcer to begin with. And now with the, just screaming in everybody's faces and acting like I don't know. I personally... they've changed so many things about it. I think maybe personally, I'm ready for a new ring guy. That's just me. And I would love to know if anybody else feels that way, because maybe I'm crazy. Maybe, never get rid of him. But for me, I'm ready for somebody other than Bruce Buffer.
Where did you get those suits from? That's what I got to know.
Listen, this
same place Nick Cannon does.
Exactly.
Same place Nick Cannon does.
Yeah.
My favorite part about Bruce...
I disagree. I think Bruce is a staple. He gets to be pumped for the fight.
I mean, Michael Buffer's still doing the boxing.
I think he's trying too hard.
My favorite part of Bruce Buffer is when he gets ready to jump in the main event and he gets 3 inches off the ground, except one time he tore his ankle landing.
I like when the fighters yell at him, when TJ Dillashaw got in his face, he's yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I know. Or they give him a pound or whatever. Yeah, it's funny because he's the man. He's the staple. He's the most recognized announcer.
What would you do if you had that job?
I would fucking love it.
I think I would be way better at it than Bruce Buffer, and I'm not saying that as an unqualified person. I'm a stage personality. I've done a lot of professional hosting. I think I could do a better job.
What would you do differently?
Everything.
I think I would just be better at it. I don't know that I would. I wouldn't. The whole fighting. I don't think that's necessary.
That was pretty good.
But also, I think you can bring that kind of energy without screaming. I'm not. And I love to scream. I shouldn't actually be. But I don't know. I'm not. I think it's time for a new blood.
I'm starting it right now. Roasted Nation # Greg Wilson for UFC announcer.
Do it. I want to do it. I think put me in there versus him.
Put me in, coach.
I think Invicta is more.
Start me in Invicta.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, but he'd stay in the fucking cage.
Totally. Exactly. I'd be like, no, I'll ref it too.
Midfight finger bag.
I'll be the cut person as well.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm looking for some gashes.
Guys, listen, I got to go I got to go.
Cage, just fight on top of me.
Listen, I would love that audition. Give me a chance,
and you're
UFC.
allowed to finger the cage.
Give me a UFC fight night. Give me one of your lower run things where you don't send Joe Rogan, don't send Bruce, send me. And I'm telling you, I would love the opportunity to show that I think it's time for a fresh voice in the octagon.
So
and I would love to be there. Coming up this weekend, I am at the El Paso Comic Strip. I'm doing a weekend of benefit shows for the victims of the El Paso shooting. I'm committing 100% of my paycheck to the victims fund. And so come on out and be a part of the healing process. And then, of course, later this month, October 25th, I will be at both the Foundation Room at Mandalay Bay and then the Dirty at 1230 at the South Point. And then next month, the first weekend of November, I believe it is, I'm going to be at, it's going to be November 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. I will be at Harvey's in Portland. Nice. My first time going up to Portland, so I'm looking forward to that.
You going to visit Tyler?
So, yeah, I'll see Tyler. And then on the 15th, I will be doing Big Boy, Big Boy, the big radio.
Big Boy!
Yeah, hello. I will be doing Big Boy's Funny Motherfucker show at the Morongo Casino on November 15th. And then Laughs in Tucson on November 22nd and 23rd.
Nice. What do you got, CV?
You can visit me at my psychiatrist's office. No, Graffiti Pals Tattoo, North Hollywood, California. Look us up. And if you play NBA 2K20 on PS4, add me, CB the Grenade. That's all I do, man. I'm hanging out at home trying to get my head right. That's it.
Do it, brother. Stay on that game.
This weekend, I'm at Tips Comedy Club in Morris Plains, New Jersey, November 11th and 12th. November 21st to the 27th, I'm at the Laugh Factory in Las Vegas. November
or October?
Oh, October 11th, 12th. And then October 21st, 27th. Then November 1st, which is a Friday, I believe, I'm at the Dirty at 12:30 at the South Point Casino. And then, just go to AdamHunter.com.
So you're like there the week after me then?
Yeah, go to AdamHunter.com. And then that big week, which is Fight Week, December 15th, that week, I'm going to be at the LA Comedy Club at the Strat. So that's for that big UFC event in Las Vegas, which I think is going to be Kolby versus Usman.
I want to come when I
Is
come
that
for the
the triple?
25th. I want to do a guest spot on your show over the. Oh, I won't have time.
That's the
And I'm not
triple
staying for the
title fight,
26th
right?
now.
Yeah, triple title fight.
Yeah.
That week I'll be in Vegas. So maybe next week we have Kolby Covington on this podcast, and hopefully we'll have Dan Hooker then too. Thank you, SpeedWeed. Thank you guys so much. Thanks, CB. Thanks, Greg. Take care. Bye-bye.